Hey, welcome to the Empowered Coach podcast. I'm your host, Richard, and on today's show, my guest is Alan. Nice to meet you, mate.
Hi, mate.
So we connected on Instagram, and Alan is known as the Kettlebell guy on Instagram. You can check that handle out. And yeah, I think we've just been like chatting backwards and forwards. You've been in my school community for a few months. I think we might have some mutual connections as well. So yeah, really nice to meet you face to face, and would love to find out a bit more about your business, give you a bit of a spotlight, and hopefully we can also help some other coaches that are watching along as well. So we'll dive like straight into it. Would love to know like who you are, what you do, what your current business looks like.
Awesome. 36 years old. Been in the industry for about, 16, 17 years now. Live in Cardiff, Wales. Got two stepdaughters, got an awesome partner. Life's good. Yeah, so I've been running gyms, doing personal training and online fitness coaching now, like I said, for about 15, 16 years.
Wow. Okay, cool. And what does the current business setup look like? Are you still doing in person? Are you fully online? Like what's the balance right now?
It's about 50-50. So short to long term, our goal is actually to move abroad.
Nice.
I'm really trying to push the online. I'm still working with clients one to one and a little bit in the gym, but yeah, mostly it's online training now.
Nice. And where are you thinking? What countries are you looking at in terms of moving?
Spain, bit of sun.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just because there's Spain and maybe Portugal as well, just because for anyone listening, there's like specific visas for people who are doing online coaching, not just obviously in the fitness industry, but it's called a digital nomad visa. So you can, as long as you're not working with Spanish or Portuguese clients or whatever, yeah, you can build a business and live over there. Things are getting more expensive over here. The weather's not good. Well, it's never been good here, but yeah, just fancy a bit of a change. So give it a go.
yeah. Nice. Love that. Something I've been thinking about as well is Portugal. I've got a few coach friends who are based in Lisbon, and yeah, like you say, there's that digital nomad visa that's available to coaches as well. So hey, we only live once. If you go and you hate it, you can always come back.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nothing's permanent, right? You can just change things, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's very much my thought. I've always liked sort of like Spanish culture and the food and everything like that as well. So yeah, get involved. Yeah, head
yeah.
up.
Nice. So come back to your fitness business. Is there a specific sort of avatar? Is there a demographic that you help most or want to attract into your business?
I know this is probably like a lot of people like really. I've done the whole sort of like niching down thing, but I find I get quite a variety of people who want to work with me. I would say I'm probably about 70% men between 35 and 50. So I do sort of a lot of content, a lot of promotion towards those people, just because that's the market telling me that's who wants to work with me. But yeah, no, I work with all different types of people. I tend to work with mostly over 30s now, just because I do find that once you hit a certain age, there's probably 25-year-olds don't really want to be training with a guy who's 36 quite as much. So I don't really work with younger people, but yeah, all different types of people, different backgrounds. Quite a lot of police officers sign up for my programs, but yeah, really good. Really enjoy it.
Is that a coincidence?
Just complete coincidence. I've had five or six people over the last sort of 6 months go through my program, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I give off a vibe. I don't know.
And kind of what's your attraction mechanism, if you like? Where do inquiries come through for you? Is it Instagram? Do you run any ads? Is it local word of mouth?
Mostly through advertising on Instagram. That's the main platform I use, just because I've done things sort of running on Facebook and TikTok and things like that as well, but and LinkedIn. But in all honesty, the one that I actually use myself is Instagram. So I tend to find that I'm going to put better content out on there. I'm going to be more active on there if people, do send me a message or whatnot. But yeah, basically my funnel at the minute is I run sort of very simple follow ads, and then having used some of your training, I then use ManyChat to either deliver several different lead magnets. So I've got like a free kettlebell guide. I've got a free 21-day challenge that they get as part of an email series.
Nice.
Yeah, so very much. To be honest, I try as much as I can to keep it quite simple and just sort of get volume out there, and a lot of people engaging, and then it might only be sort of 1 in 50 people are really really keen by the end of that nurturing period, but it's about getting the message out there, and you
Yeah.
know and I think a big thing, and I don't know whether you agree, but I think with online coaching, there's when I first started doing it about 10 years ago, and it was very much just like a bit here and there around coaching people in person. I found it was very people were very excited by online coaching, whereas I think now the trust element's gone quite a lot. So, some of my mates say to me like, "Why do you do? Why is that for free? Why do you send people that for free?" And I think you actually need to sometimes to get in front of people, then open up a PDF with a link to a YouTube video, and you doing a proper demonstration or something for them to actually be like, "Okay, if he's giving me this for free, it's not going to be terrible." If when do buy something and the trust is instantly built there. And I don't think it's necessarily that it's I don't think it's always that they necessarily download something and it's about liking what they've seen. It's actually about just like the credibility of, oh yeah, well, this is real, this isn't, I'm sure you probably agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And like with AI now as well, I think the trust is only going to decline. Some of the videos you see now, so you literally cannot tell whether it's real or AI. So I think trust will continue to decline because people are just be like, even if it's a face to camera video now, it's like I don't know if that's a real person.
Yeah.
So I think the nurturing kind of side of things where you're building trust and connecting with those people and sending resources will probably will be an integral part of the process. People aren't just gonna see a funnel and like click and buy your program anymore.
Yeah. 100%.
But I don't think there's like sometimes people get scared of like giving everything away for free, but people aren't buying information anymore. They're buying implementation support. They're buying accountability to just do the damn thing because
Yeah.
anyone can go out and find a program or create a program on ChatGPT. But as always, like human nature, they procrastinate and they get stuck. So it's more about positioning yourself as someone who can get someone results, and there's a structure and a process to get there.
100%. And also on that is like you said, I mean, a lot of people, worry about giving away too much for free and things like that. And ultimately, like you said, I mean, ultimately, if you don't do it and you don't impress someone and you don't give someone a free fat loss handbook or, whatever people are giving out, they're going to go on YouTube and find the same thing from someone else. So, if you type in kettlebell workouts or barbell workouts on YouTube, there's probably millions, thousands and hundreds of thousands of videos that'll come up. So you've got to be part of that. You can't just be putting everything behind a paywall because, like we said, trust isn't massive at the minute. And in all honesty, like you said, I think the biggest thing is particularly with like one-to-one coaching online, it's all about that accountability. It's all about just having someone that, my clients, I always say to them, obviously, if it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, I'm not responding until the morning, but they've got me on WhatsApp. If there's an issue, if they want me to check their form in a workout, they can send me a video. And that's really where the coaching comes in. I think a lot of people have this idea of online coaching is great. I'm going to send someone a workout, large X amount, send them a workout that says 5 sets of 10 back squats. Yeah, you could have got that anyway. You could have got that from Muscle and Fitness magazine 20 years ago. So
Mm, yeah. And I think because it's been around a while now, online coaching, and people have been through the process, and a lot of people have had bad experiences, particularly if they've signed up to like a big influencer where it is just like copy and paste program and not a lot of support. There's almost like this, yeah, people have got this idea in their head that okay, it's just calorie counting, workout, like that's it. Whereas it can be a lot more dynamic and probably needs to be a lot more dynamic to stand out going forwards. With
absolutely.
with it, like your style of training, how do you deliver it in the same way, just through an app, or is there like anything you do? Because I'm like you said, like form and stuff with kettlebells is really important. So yeah, how do you deliver that?
So with all my workouts, there's like an exercise guide that I give people. So that's like the base of all the programs for the kettlebells. And it's like very detailed, sort of like 10 to 12-minute videos of each exercise, breaking down the form. And then I run a program called the 100-Day Challenge, which kind of takes people who are completely at the beginning. Like when I speak to people on the phone, if they've done a bit of training before, it might not be quite for them. There might be something else we need to do. But if they literally haven't been in a gym in a year, 2 years, whatever it may be, it's building them up. So week one will be focused around one or two movements. They'll really practice those movements. So for example, week one might be swings and goblet squats. Okay, great. And all the other exercises will be very straightforward. And then over the first 7 or 8 weeks, we then build up the arsenal of exercises with the kettlebell. So they're learning how to do Turkish get-ups, learning how to do windmills, snatches, all these different exercises, which is where I think a lot of people do go wrong when they're learning how to use kettlebells or coaching kettlebells is day three, you probably shouldn't be teaching someone how to do a kettlebell snatch. They probably have not sufficiently got the hip hinge correctly, got the float with the kettlebell, all that kind of stuff that you need to have from the swing. So it's all about just about, each week building up the different exercises and building on top of each other. And like I said, I don't really used in the past many years ago, I've used some of these apps where you would just have like a person doing a like 3-second version of an exercise, whereas the app I've got is kind of custom built, so I can put in full YouTube videos, and then it's sort of 10 to 15 minutes of full on demos, and then I do the same.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah, that apps can really vary, can't they? Like in terms of some of the apps I've used, and they just have like a computer generated image of like someone just doing the movement. You're like, that is not enough.
And honestly, as well, like, what are you paying for if that's what you're doing? That's what I would always question is just, and I think that again is where some of that trust has been lost. If someone's charging £150 per month, say, and they've literally just gone on, just typed in a couple of workouts and just a couple of exercises come out, is that really online coaching? I wouldn't
Mm,
say so. I'd say you've just given someone a program.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, sometimes I've had this conversation with coaches when they're thinking about choosing an app and they're like, oh, often it's price led, but it's literally your product, isn't it? It's the way that people are connecting with you on a daily basis. So that is the most important thing. So if you have to pay a little bit more to get it customized or looking good or have the right features, then it's worth doing.
Yeah, 100%.
How long have you been like doing the Instagram thing for?
What is in like really to push my business?
Yeah.
Probably about 2 years.
Yeah. And what's been your journey like with social media? Were you always comfortable with it? Like, is there bits you hate about it?
Do you know what in the past I've done sort of like the DM messenger ad sort of things, and I've run those on Facebook as well. And I have to be honest, I don't know whether I need thicker skin. Probably do need thicker skin, but just like some of the comments and some of the people just being just, you know, that is what I don't enjoy. But that's where I find Instagram. I don't know why, but it just seems to me like Instagram, you just get a lot more positivity. Maybe
Mm,
I don't know. I find on Facebook you could put up an advert saying, "Hey, check out my free 21-day challenge," and you'll get people just being really unkind for no reason, and you just think, "Well, hang on, what's this about?" Whereas, yeah, with Instagram, I found one thing I do find hard with it is that I'm sure you've noticed is just like every now and again they'll change everything up and you get like no views on things, and then you're just like, well, hang on, why was I getting 4,000 views yesterday and now today this has done 600? That's sometimes a little bit difficult, but generally I quite enjoy it.
mm, yeah, I definitely agree. Like Facebook is just full of weirdos.
Yeah.
I run my ads on Instagram, but I do occasionally run some on Facebook, and yeah, I always get like fucking baldy or like just like some random insults because there's just the people that are hanging out on Facebook all day are just weird, right? You do have to have thick skin.
And one thing that I noticed, because there was a couple of people that were like, where I put these ads up, and then there was a couple of people, and what I realized, and I've seen on other people's posts, is there's like a group of people that they must just shit on fitness people. That it's the same people commenting on all these posts. So sometimes if I'm on Facebook and a post comes up, a fitness one, and I see a laughing emoji, I'm not agree. I'll just click on that, block that person, just in case I ever do anything in the future. But yeah, it is really weird. Whereas I find Instagrams are far better. And it might be as well my demographic. I don't know. I think probably sort of blokes who are in their early 40s who are just on Facebook at 11 o'clock at night might not have not an awful lot going on. So, so just take out.
Yeah, probably what's happened with those keyboard warriors is like once they engaged on one fitness coach, like the algorithm's going to be like, oh, this person wants
Yeah.
fitness coaching.
Yeah.
So
Once
their feed is just for now. They're just like angry all the time because they're just seeing coaches all the time.
but yeah, no, I find Instagram like a really good tool. Like I said, I've done a bit on LinkedIn. Can't stand, in all honesty, just because it's people that I know on there as well, and I see them put their posts up, and it's like, hang on, this isn't who you are. It's very corporatey and not my bag. TikTok, I think, is like, I think it's quite good for engagement, and like a lot of people, you get a lot of engagement from it, and you can grow quite quickly. But I'm not sure it's the best place to sell coaching. No, I've never really even tried, but it doesn't just seems a bit more of just a social media platform.
Yeah, yeah. I think like just pick one. It's my advice to like most coaches starting out because a lot of the time they are like, I need a strategy for Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. It's like they can all work. You just need to pick one and really dial that in. And if you get that to the point where it's working and you've got time to branch out and do other platforms, then at that stage do it. But I agree, like LinkedIn, a lot of dick swinging and so much more outreach than there used to be. Really hard to get people into conversations. TikTok, really good for reach and followers, not so good for getting people into conversations. And ultimately, if you want to coach someone, you do need to have a conversation with them. So I tend to agree Instagram is the best place to start. Um, any other advice for coaches starting out? I had a comment in the group earlier with someone that was like, I don't know what software platforms to use, and like I'm getting stuck. Like, any advice for people at the start of their journey for online coaching?
I would say, from my experience, the biggest thing is, well, first of all, I think, doing stuff like case studies and maybe doing some things for free and to build your own confidence as well. But I think just start with a one-to-one program, you know, charge your worth for it as well. That's a big mistake. That was something I made a mistake with at the beginning, was thinking, oh, it'd be easier to sell 50 at £100 rather than, no, whatever. Whereas I think just sell a really, really good service and, aim to sign up maybe 10 clients over sort of 2 to 3 months, maybe one person a week, really manageable. And then from there, you could maybe start doing group programs or whatever you fancy doing once you've actually got used to it and work with quite a few people. Because, you know, I've tried things in the past. Before I was like really, motoring just to do online. I tried doing something like £19 a month for a kettlebell, for kettlebell program and stuff like that. And do you know what? Selling at £19 is just not just, but it's almost as hard as selling at £99 or £199, wherever it may be. You're better off actually just trying to go out and find, in the space of the first year, 50 people, say, that you're going to work with one-to-one, get really good results with, and then because to make that same income from selling to hundreds and hundreds of people is really hard work. That'd be my
Yeah,
bit of
and
advice. Just
I think yeah, with low ticket, you tend to attract people with low motivation. Like they're not they're maybe there for a quick win, and like I think it's harder to retain those people when you end up not getting the results they wanted when because you can't really give someone the full thing for £19 a month. And we're in this business because we want to change lives and get people results. So I think you're right. Like just have an amazing program that is worth what you charge for it, and then attract the right people in, and they'll want it.
And that's the thing. I've got programs on my app that people could just buy. Um, and they're there. That's fine. But that's very much also as well. If I'm speaking to someone, and occasionally I do speak to people on the phone, and sometimes, particularly with like the kettlebells, you do get people who are actually pretty fit and have done a bit with kettlebells and stuff like that. And in all honesty, they don't need to pay me £500 for the next 12 weeks. That they're just not in that place. Whereas actually it's like, look, I've got this program, it's £50. I know that you're on top of your lifestyle and stuff like that. And great. And then they buy that, which is absolutely fine. But, trying to sell £50 programs en masse and make a living out of it is very difficult to do at the start, unless you're one of those sort of influencer type
Mm.
people with thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a volume game, isn't it? For particularly for low ticket as well, you do need. I think that's where a lot of coaches get stuck as well. Sometimes is not realizing the volume of like leads you actually need, and having a few leads kind of trickled in that don't want it can really knock your confidence.
Yeah.
Was that like a learning process you went through as well?
Initially, I kind of had a bit of experience when I owned a gym doing that sort of stuff. So I kind of
Mm.
knew that, like, if someone messaged you saying interested, there's a good chance if you replied straight away and said, "Hey, this is great," they might not, they might just ghost you. But yeah, I mean, I tend to find that probably about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 leads you actually get a decent conversation from, and that's not even to make a sale. I mean, you've got to be thinking along those sort of lines, and that's why, when we discussed earlier, I try and have a really simple funnel. And like I said, getting people in with sort of follower ads, and then from there, messaging them and engaging with them. And again, probably about 1 in 5 people are responding. And then from there, give them some sort of lead magnet. They're on my email list. I can shoot them a message. So, and every now and again, you do get that person. There's a lady I'm training at the minute, Rebecca. She downloaded my kettlebell free guide, and then she read the bit at the end about the program. She was like, "Oh, I want to do that program." That was great. That was awesome. I was on a Sunday. I literally did no work. It was pre-done work that had got me there. But yeah, I just find that sort of style of, helping a lot of people, giving a lot of value, and then from that, speaking to those who are interested, rather than just having those adverts out there hammering, hammering, hammering. And then, yeah, you're getting 10 leads for £25 and you haven't made a sale yet. And it's all a bit stressful. Whereas I find this way a lot more easygoing for me.
Yeah, I like to use like a gym floor mindset for people that have worked in the gym. They'll understand this, right? There's a gym. There's 100 members of the gym. They're all there with a goal, right?
Yeah.
You might walk around on day one and try and book a few tasters and get absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with, I think, people when they're starting conversations online. It's like no one's actually interested. So I know you just got to understand it takes time to build the trust and build those relationships, because after 2 weeks of chatting with the members in the gym, suddenly there's enough rapport there for them to be like, oh, do you know what? I would like to book in a session with you, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes it just takes it, yeah, just a little bit of trust, a little bit of warming up. And like I said, for them to, open a free kettlebell guide, watch a kettlebell swing demo, and be like, okay, this, he's giving me this for free. I'm sure the actual program's going to be pretty good, and I think that's a massively important thing. And like you said, hundreds of, you could speak to 100 people day one, they're not interested. And sometimes as well, I can't remember the name of the name of what it's called, but there's like a thing, and it's like where not everyone's attracted to everyone. So that, I might actually be the best person knowledge wise to work with that person, but actually, like, if they don't like an ex-rugby player sort of bloke, and that's not really their vibe, then I'm not the right person. And so sometimes, it's just like with everything, some people like a certain film, some people like another film. And I think you can't take it too personally. You've just got to get your message out there to as many people as possible. And that's where I think, like I said, I think giving the value out, give tons of value, and then it comes back.
Yeah, nice. Really, really good advice. It's been great to chat with you, Alan. Where can people find you online if they want to reach out?
The Kettlebell Guy on Instagram, and that'd be the best place, as we discussed, to get hold of me.
Yeah, nice. Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you.